Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of X-Feed. Listen, I'm doing this thing where I'm going to keep the camera off for now. We're going to be looking at nothing but the content because that is all that matters. Things are getting spicy. You think you're going into the weekend feeling kind of bullish, maybe even a little bit bearish. Maybe we'll change your thoughts on that. Topics of the day. Obviously, the timeline's filled with the 3D board apes. Somebody was saying, hey, here's how you make these things easy and good. I went to check out the product. It's like $16 a month. Adding another subscription. Unbelievable. If I wanted to. Don't know if we're going to do that. We're going to compare some of the recent market movings. I have some questions. Why, oh why, are things moving the way they did? Is everything specifically driven off of sentiment? Is that literally it? Gonna go into Illuvium, quick mention to Guild of Guardians, talking about some research from Forbes, highlighting some zombie chains, some insane evaluations out there, when people aren't even using things. Unbelievable. Now you might ask, what's going on with the title of this stream? 36% sugar added to your NFTs. So, before I got on here, I was like, I could go for a hot chocolate. I was trying to look around the house to see if we had anything for that. And lo and behold, we do. A little bit of a mixture. And when you go look at it, it's 36% sugar. And I'm like, these people are selling you a product. Kind of reminds me about what's going on with NFTs. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show. My name is The Schiller. I forgot, no camera. There we go. Boom. Just in, Stripe announces it will bring back crypto payments. This is a big deal. It's a very big deal. But don't hear it from me. Let's hear it from them themselves.
Patrick's not the only one who can leak things. This is the Stripe checkout you know and love, and it's got all the cool functionality. Like, again, a big one for us is localization, where it looks different. You see here, depending on where the customer is coming from, it'll give them that really nice, high-converting, localized experience. But, what's this new functionality over here on the right? We can pay with crypto. So we'll tap pay here. We'll go to a confirmation screen. And so, did I actually? We're on Hypernian. The ghost of Christmas past. This is our confirmation page. We passed in the email address for the checkout. Here we're selecting what chain we want to pay with. We're going to pay with Solana. Here we're selecting what wallet we want to use. We could use Coinbase Wallet or MetaMask. I'm going to use Phantom for the purposes of this demo. So when I pay here, it's going to bring up some UI from Phantom, which is the crypto wallet that we're using. So this is the Phantom UI here. This is not Stripe UI. And you see here we're confirming. We're going to pay with Solana. The network fee, very cheap, as we discussed, a network fee is coming down, $99. Now, again, you're probably used to a crypto transaction. You're expecting, me to bring out another guest here, and, we'll do a 8-minute conversation while we wait for the transaction to clear. But that is old crypto. Are you ready for the new crypto world? You have to look very closely,
Okay.
Not blink. You ready? Oh, that tap. That's it. We're done. And that confirmation page was not like this has been entered in a queue, we're going to now go do something. It has now been posted to the blockchain already. And so if I go into my Phantom wallet here and go
$605 as a whale.
You see here, sent at 9:58 today. We can view on the Solana Explorer. This is, I think the Explorer.
Yeah, Solana doesn't go that fast. But they clapped like it did.
You can go to this URL yourself if you are eagle-eyed and see this is a real posted transaction to the Solana chain. Similarly, we can view it in the Stripe dashboard. So if we click in here to our 9:58 a.m.
All right, so there you go. You get the idea. But anyway, Stripe's getting back into thing, and Ryan Shan Adams here giving a little bit of his take on it. Stripe is re-entering crypto. I can't overstate how big this is. Last time they tried, crypto wasn't ready. This time, transactions are cheap and settle fast. They're not doing crypto for the hype. They're doing it because it makes sense in their business or their business. The most important payments company in the world is choosing crypto. Stripe could onboard millions of businesses across 120 countries. Crypto wallets to the masses. So where is the partnerships for this. We have everything in the Web3 realm, right? When when do we find out who's working with Stripe? Is Stripe only going to be doing payments on their own thing? Are they going to offer something of their own? Can they expand, right? Because now we kind of have our eyes open. You've seen what's gone on with X, where it's now being turned into much more than just a social platform for payments here, with the aspect of how much their market share is. Is they going to want to do something else within the blockchain space? Potentially. Forbes Research published a list of 20 crypto billion-dollar zombies. Remember, every time you're like, man, I like the token that I'm in, they always pray that it doesn't end up like this. However, this is kind of weird because they're throwing some ones that you might hold in here, but what do they have? Well, right off the rip here, they talk about XRP with comments saying payments platform has yet to challenge Swift, now threatened by stablecoins for Cardano. Ethereum competitor launched in 2017 by crypto pioneer with cult-like following. Okay. Bitcoin Cash, born in 2017 after a holy war over Bitcoin's primary function. Litecoin, Bitcoin spinoff is faster and cheaper. Few developers, but used for purchases. And there's a couple more ones down here. And Flow, this one says, known as host of NBA Top Shot, but actively dwindling as NFTs swooned, has ultra low fee structure. So a few bit more on there, but still kind of funny to see just like the narrative, right? Like pinpoint, here's the comments on the big picture of what at least one person thinks of those various chains. Okay, so I guess there was a little bit of a shakeup here in meme land. Things have been seemingly to go great over there, but first time I'm seeing some FUD on the timeline. God, you gotta get your daily FUD in there. This time I completely disagree with the decision taken by the meme land team, as this will completely dilute stakers and bacon coming on through.
Take my money, pal.
Yo, you're crazy, my man. Thank you so much for the 31 months. I hope you are well and enjoyed the NFL draft last night. Did you guys see the Detroit Lions? How many people came out? Holy smokes. I quote tweeted one of the images from it. Absolutely insane, the volume of people. But okay, so I guess stakers are getting diluted here, including hundreds of thousands of farmers in the space, in the same pot as stakers. Even if farmers have less points comparably, it will create a scenario in which no one really gets any value out of this. Once the first allocation is out, you will understand that farmers earned way too many stakes from such a small amount of quests, and all your loyal stakers will be diluted. Okay, this is where things get kind of spicy, because the entire space is talking about tokenomics. Things that people thought were going to happen are not going to happen. White papers get changed. It is absolute chaos. And then everybody's like, well, you could have just bought Bitcoin, Steve, and not done anything. Okay, listen, I know, right? But anyway, I don't even hold any meme land. Trying to be funny here, but this is I guess what this is from Char, responding within the Meme Land Discord. Like I said before, after we did more internal calculations, it made more sense to combine the pool. When the pool was split, it was impossible to get farmers any value amount of airdrop, as there was too many of them at the same level. Combining the pool makes stakers of meme token get access to more airdrop, as they by default have far higher stakes than any farmer. It's all about input. If you staked more meme than any other staker, than another staker, you win more. If you staked plus farm, you'll get much better drops than just farmers. Now, it's funny, right? Because for you, and honestly for myself, this is kind of like the only exposure that I really see to meme land is other people's tweets. I don't really see on top of it too much. Then you read that and you're like, okay, so they have people that are staking. There's another pool of rewards and that's getting mixed up. And then you can try to compare it to what you're holding. And it's like, holy sweet mother of pearl. If you haven't seen yesterday, there was the Bored Ape 3D models that got released. Ended up going all over my timeline. Ton of people talking about them, and Jeff here was saying, want to have more fun with your 3D ape model, head to Wonder Dynamics. So you see how there's a character here in a canyon. This is a Bored Ape. It looks super high quality, and I was like, okay, like I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Let me go check that out. So I went over and I found, well, what it was, and it's this Wonder Dynamics. And so I guess they have like a character and you just kind of replace that body, but the price for it is $16.99 a month. Over on the pro version, it's $84.99 a month. All the stuff with AI, it's credits, right? I've used some different AI programs, and all of that stuff is discredits the different amount of things, access, extra tooling. Sometimes there's literally no reason to do that upgrade, but then when it like you go into it, I'm trying to figure out how to do it, right? Like, is there any kind of free version? You have actor 1, I can hit play, and like that's the character that's the same one here, but I need to upgrade my plan. I don't know. I don't know what to do. What are we doing, baby? And then this. Way back in the day, Gutter Cat Gang, we've highlighted it before, but they were supposed to get the 3D models from House of Kiba. Don't know what in the halibut happened, but I guess that hasn't come to fruition as of yet. Now, if you haven't seen, Bored Apes have absolutely ripped, and I mean like truly beyond belief. We are upwards of 16 ETH. We've had sales upwards of 20. You can see, you can't see on there. Let me move that over. The massive spike in like a day. Like you would have made a couple of grand, a couple of thousands of dollars if you had the capital to be able to buy that bottom. But like, what is going on? Why is this happening right now? Is it because of the 3D models? No, it's not, because as Free-Minded here highlights, apes get 3D files, floor goes up 4 ETH. Clones get 3D files, floor goes down 4 ETH. Talking about the Clone X avatars. Obviously, Fluff World has them as well, and a fair other collections, but some people were doing research and looked up the lending, and there are some people that are going heavy on the leverage market right now, thinking that apes have bottomed out. And it seems like it's kind of caused a spur on a lot of other NFTs. But one of the big things that I saw immediately and tried to check was like what happened with ApeCoin, because typically anytime you see a run, it's due to the fact of the coin, because again, you can stake like an ape, but it's like moved like what, almost 3% in a day. Go to the 7 days, move 5%, while apes are absolutely flying. Seems kind of strange in that sense. Breaking: SEC served consensus with a Wells notice and alleged MetaMask is operating as an unlicensed broker dealer. All right, so MetaMask, SEC, apparently going at each other, and consensus going on the attack with this. As soon as that headline came out, immediately following it, Justin, crypto firm Consensus sues SEC and asks court to declare that Ethereum is not a security. So 2 different things here. We'll see what comes of it. Ryan Sean Adams again highlighting or giving a thought on this, saying the SEC suing Consensus, saying MetaMask is an illegal broker dealer. So Joe Lubin's like, hold up, I'm suing you first. Also, we're going to prove in court ETH isn't a security, and finally bring clarity to the world. Crypto's going on the offensive. Love to see it. And again, when we talked with Ray in the interview the other day, he was talking about the regulation and saying it seems like the US is going from a place of we are going to attack, sue, bring you to court to try to regulate this industry, which is kind of interesting. And further to that, Justin, the FBI warns Americans against using non-know your customer Bitcoin and crypto money transmitting services. Seems like a broader attack kind of on DeFi, but very interesting. As before, when Yuga sold the other side plots, there was a KYC that was needed ahead of time for that, and a lot of people didn't end up wanting to do that. And I guess, you know, them trying to push you towards KYC, we'll kind of see. What does it mean overall for crypto in the US? The extended remaster versions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy will be released in theaters for the first time starting June 8th. Very interesting that we're seeing some of the older movies that have gained mass popularity coming back into theaters. I'm starting to see just nobody really going to the theater. Like, I don't see anybody talking about the new movies. It's all about this older IP, and what makes it different is, you know, when we're in the Web3 space, we see IP pop up all the time. We're like, oh, that's cool, and immediately it has potentially 3,000 to 4,000 fans. You know, you never know what can end up happening from that. We see way more money getting put into other ideas that end up coming to nothing. But this is a huge piece of news for the general gaming markets here. Blizzard announced BlizzCon 2024 is canceled. Now, obviously, things have been kind of weird with Blizzard, the whole Overwatch debacle. Now that we've had Daniel Allegre at Yuga Labs and he was out there helping Blizzard before, you're like, okay, what kind of rails did they end up taking over there? But yeah, I mean, places are getting hit. Big shakeup in the gaming world, and BlizzCon is usually one of the most looked forward to gaming events there is. So pretty wild that they are canceling that. Now, if you're wanting to get specifics on the Bored Ape Pop here, blocknews.com highlighting how the floor price has increased $21,000 or 6.5 ETH over the last 10 days. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Sheesh. Immutable is starting to pour fuel on the fire. Looks like 1% of IMX tokens are allocated to player rewards. Immutable here is saying the Immutable ecosystem's main quest is the largest Web3 gaming's reward program ever, with up to $50 million in rewards prepared for all players and more to be announced. The Immutable Ecosystem Rewards Program offers players incentives for exploring games in the expansive Immutable ecosystem. And so, exploring quests, playing games, owning collectibles, it very much feels kind of like the future score system for anybody that's familiar with that. But everything seems to be called a quest, and all these big protocols are offering tokens for players to be a part of it. And these are pretty wild incentives, to be totally honest. Think of the people out there that would be down with participating. You get a free little bit of extra something sweet and special, especially if the markets pick back up. All these tokens in US dollar terms could be a lot more. And also they could be a lot less. You know, not to be overtly bearish there, talking about Yogi Bear or anything. Things could go completely sideways and downhill. So we never know, but it is interesting to think about like the rewards pools and how much that is flexing and comparing it to the greater esport economy. My Pet Hooligan getting a lot of attention lately, and it does feel like they really have that like mainstream connection. A gift courtesy of our partners, Amazon Prime Gaming, the infamous heavy metal tea wearable. You can rock it in game and also get the physical version through Amazon and Hot Topic too. So the fact that they're in Hot Topic stores, My Pet Hooligan, kind of, you know, it looks like one of those like band, everybody's doing like derivatives or gifts of like famous things, right? And this, the My Pet Hooligan has nailed the style of that for the band tees. So somebody posed the question, they're like, my bags aren't doing well. Listen, I understand. But Jordan Snack says, is My Pet Hooligan underpriced? Is Bored Ape Yacht Club overpriced, or both priced correctly? After the last 2 years and everything AMGI Studios has delivered compared to Yuga Labs, make it make sense. So this is a very common trend with almost any collection that is not like at the same price point as Bored Apes. Everybody always says this, right? And we compare, okay, Bored Apes to this other one. And we also massively forget, as we highlighted the pump from this, the amount of leverage trading that does go into it, the amount of people that don't want to sell. Also, you know, that not to bring up that FTX buy of the apes, right? But how many of them are actually on market? How many of them aren't getting moved? What some of the industry players, if there are any out there, it just feels obviously when you think of like Web3 right now, Bored Apes have much more significance. Not to say that My Pet Hooligan isn't going to get there, but I feel like a lot of people do kind of, you know, create these narratives of thinking like, hey, why are we lower than that? It's like, it will happen if it is true. You know what I mean? Everything takes time. All right, and so speaking of kind of, you know, pushing the bag, saying what the hell is going on, here's a founder of Illuvium saying, give me another game that comes even close to this in crypto. 206 unique creatures, 7 environments, 120 plus plants, near unlimited variation in rangers, 25 different morph pods, 750 skins. I can continue reading, but you get the idea. Content equals retention, study MMOs, get ready for Illuvium. But what exactly is all this? Here's a quick 2-minute video of what's been happening with Illuvium, and I got to stop saying the word Deal? No more ums the rest of this? Deal. what do you think about them apples? That is their April highlights reel. Futureverse does like a newsletter for it. I like the highlights reel. I think like it's a cool touch. I feel that there could have been like a bit more context to it. Like they show the gaming aspects for like a few seconds, but then they show like just like the creatures and the animations, and it's, you know. I want to see the rest of the thing. They have like that exploding turret at the end of the lady kind of landing on the planet. Like more of that I think is cool. But the concept art and whatnot, like I think it's not too shabby. And one thing we haven't seen in a little bit is the breakdown of guilds for Guild of Guardians. And one of the reasons why I was kind of honestly turned bearish on the guild aspect of that is because I asked somebody once that was like a part of the team just on Twitter, like, how is this supposed to work with like the guilds? And like, it was kind of a shoddy answer. So they got back and I was like, I don't know if they've really thought about this, but this looks like the starting area here for the guilds. Chris Clay is saying we'll be polishing for global launch, but it's so good to be a member of the guild of a guild in Guild of Guardians on testnet. Looking forward to seeing this UI flesh out with more features over the next year. So I guess this is kind of what like the guild hall looks like currently for Guild of Guardians. Immutable passes 400,000 passport signups. They were just at 100,000 a week ago. That is crazy growth. And obviously we're seeing a whole bunch of them. Oh, you're seeing a whole bunch of incentives from the different protocols and seeing that massive amount of growth here for Immutable just kind of shows, hey, for any collection, I guess, that you're in that's kind of working on a chain, or, you know, if you're in one of these smaller ones, the growth can happen very, very quick. Because you bought so many of them, you became bearish. Keck W. Dude, true. You're not wrong. Well, there was a lot of things that ended up happening with like Guild of Guardians. Like they changed a lot of the leadership. They changed like how the game looked. I think the change was good. It was a little bit awkward initially. Like it felt like an attempt at like a dungeon crawler, but on the phone it didn't really like feel that good. The combat was a little bit off, so them having this kind of the turn-based, I think works a little bit better, at least compared to like the early days. It was a little rough, but you got me in 4K pickle. Damn it. Okay. I think it's gone underappreciated that we have now seen 3 alien CryptoPunk sales in the last few months for $45 million. Dude, that hell's got $45 million just kicking around, and we haven't yet found out who the buyers are. True. How do we have so many massive buys and nobody knows what it is? Is this a hint that Yuga went out and they bought the Grail CryptoPunks? What do you... Let's just imagine for a second that's what happened. How do you think everybody would react? First, everybody says, yo, you got to sweep the floors, make the NFTs go up. And then it's, well, we just spent 45 million on the Grails. I would love to see the reaction for it. Now, I don't know if this is true, but apparently if you have your devices plugged in, the electromagnet field around it, look at this, 42 to 715 volts. Insane. I don't know. But I feel like if this is right, maybe watch out if you're around things that are plugged in. I saw that and I was like, hold on. Now, I did get tricked once, okay? Have you guys ever seen where they tell you that the bottom of your pinky finger is potentially broken if it's got like a weird thing, or it highlights that like you've had your phone on your finger for too long that it's created like an indent, but your finger's apparently just like naturally like that. So then they try to blame it on your phone and it's clickbait, but then you fell for it because you're a fish and it's a copy pasta. And then you just, gay dude. All right, whale dot. Swoosh coming in here. ETH NFT floor prices are up, but the biggest NFT opportunity right now might not be on ETH mainnet. Probably not. It's probably one of these things that are smaller, but on Blast. Okay, they think it's on Blast. Top Blast projects are up 50 to 300% in the last 7 days. One of the reasons for this might be that Blur will integrate Blast very soon. And then they highlight some of the different volumes on here. But again, some of the floor prices are relatively lower. Like Crypto Valley characters, 0.18 isn't low per se. But the top one that's up 175% on the 24 hours is 0.07 ETH. Interesting just to see the broad scope of NFTs across the space and the utility or offerings that they have. So yesterday we highlighted that news article, or at least tweet, that was highlighting about Brett and some of like the insiders on the early days of its launch. And I didn't think like that much of it. It was kind of like a passive, like, that seems kind of fishy, right? But like, I don't have any of this. Apparently it's down like 34% in the past 24 hours, following a report of how insiders were holding over 81% of the supply at launch. Holy sweet suffering succotash. Not good, coming through here with a fat 39-monther.
Fisherman.
True. Yeah, if any of you guys play League of Legends out there on the NA servers, you got to hit us up. We were playing last night, then the power went out, and then game throughout, pissed off the boys. Yeah, it's chalk, but if you play, let me know. Vivi. We highlighted Vivi yesterday, and then, of course, following day, negative news, FUD on the timeline. Man, works like a charm. So Javier Torres says, Vivi, insinuating that they're saying, a change of plan. You will now have ownership. We will be the custodians. Sorry, you will not have ownership. We will be the custodians of the collectibles you purchase from us. Community, who cares as long as we can make money selling? Vivi, you will not make money selling. That is not what Vivi is about. Grabs all liquidity. It's funny because when you're sitting here objectively looking at the timeline, there's FUD about everything if you know where to look. And the final thing of today, this one is a doozy coming from Garga and Yuga Labs. Good morning. Really tough day today. I am hellbent on transforming Yuga and getting us back to our roots, and that means making hard decisions. By far the hardest is saying goodbye to some talented team members. Here was my message to the team this morning, so I'll try to read this somewhat quickly. Hi. At here. Today is a tough day. Over the past 2 months, I've been determined to change both what we do and how we do it, and that means making some very hard strategic decisions. Unfortunately, this includes a restructuring, and some roles within the company are affected. If you received a meeting invite for today at 9 a.m. PST, your role has been affected. Please prioritize attending. Firstly, I want to express my gratitude to every one of you. I deeply appreciate your dedication and hard work for the time you have been at Yuga. I owe everyone a frank and honest explanation of what led to this scenario. Decision. To put it simply, Yuga lost its way. Getting ourselves centered and on the right path means being a smaller, more agile and crypto-native team. A team that does fewer things but does them brilliantly. I've had to take real stock of where the company is at the helm these last 2 months. The creative first spirit that drove this company from inception has been getting muddied by labyrinthine corporate processes. Okay. We work hard and we care about somehow, we work hard and we care, but somehow ended up with groups and committees. We plan more than we ship. This is very interesting that he's highlighting about like groups and committees, because it did feel like there was just like a lot of stuff and it wasn't conjoined, and then the mix match is ugh. Yuga was about a dozen people when someone knocked on the door with a massive valuation. Again, it was like at $4 billion. The ethos back then was just ship only stuff that delights you, but also do it like your butt's on fire. We had our share of luck and moments of brilliance, but in a lot of ways, we were playing the game on easy mode. Creator royalties were thriving and made our whole ecosystem electric. Now we're in hard mode. Yuga is going from 0 to 1 again, and we can't pretend otherwise. But I have a plan to put us back on top, and we have an incredible community that has our back. Part of that plan has started to roll out, such as the spin out of Heavy Metal and Legends of the Mara, which enables us to focus our gaming efforts to 3D other side. Other aspects of the plan will be announced soon, and to be clear, some things are still taking shape. In the history of Yuga, our biggest home runs are things that went from glimmer in our eye to shipped in under 3 months. I realize that these changes are extremely difficult. I don't take saying goodbye to anyone lightly, and it's on me that we got to this place where such a big change is necessary. For those of you who will be transitioning out of the company, you have our deepest thanks. I appreciate all your contributions. For those who will be staying on, it's paramount that we're all aligned in our mission. What we're doing isn't easy. This is all about speed, agility, and commitment. If you don't want to be part of this next phase, that's okay. Anyone is welcome to take the same severance we are offering affected employees today, and we can part ways on good terms. We'll be holding an all-hands-on-deck meeting today at 3 p.m. to discuss the future in more details. Holy smokes. Big things coming out from Yuga as of late, or at least changes. Make of them what you will. Some people questioning, hey, if they're selling off assets, removing employees, is there a money flow problem? Is there just too many people on? What happened with this corporate thing? I mean, the past 2 years, I feel like if Yuga had like cameras set up and we got Jersey Shore 2.0, it'd be wild. It'd be absolutely wild. That does it for this edition of XFeed. I appreciate the absolute heck out of you guys coming through here. Kid Arcade, what's going on? Vivi getting all the FUD. LOL. They will never let it take out things. Yeah, it's funny that like certain things are always FUDed for the exact same reasons, whether it's greed, certain issues that happen. It's just a thing that happens to every aspect of Web3. But maybe that's just the part that we like about it. But thanks so much, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Enjoy.